Hello and welcome to this Metate and clay Comal demonstration. Today we're going to show you how to make a traditional tortilla using a metate, which is a volcanic grinding stone, to make masa, and a clay Comal to heat up and cook our tortilla. My name is Zuleya Prieto. Behind the camera is Gerardo Morales, and we are one of the planting families that make up Rooting Through Corn Planting Families, this local project currently in its second year. We're happy to show in this demonstration a little bit of what we have learned. So here in this image we see a metate, which is a volcanic stone slab that rests on 3 legs usually, and we grind with the slimmer stone that's on top of this metate, which is called a metlalpil or a mano, a hand, to rub against this slab of stone and grind a lot of things with it. So corn started being found and domesticated about 8,000 years ago, and the first metates date back to 5,000 to 3,000 BC, and they were used in all the households in Mesoamerica, which means Mexico and Central America, and even some parts of the southwest of North America. Metates were found, and like I said, they were part of every home and every meal. There were also other types of metate, like this very elaborate one, which were more ceremonial, and they were found in tombs and in sacred ceremonial temples buried within the structure. So that also gives us an idea of the very high importance that these objects have and had for the pre-colonial cultures. As you can see here, they can be thinner. So there are all sizes of metates, and they are worked in a kneeling position in order to have the momentum of the body help with the grinding. And we're going to show how to grind corn with them, but you can grind a lot of things. Anything from chocolate to all sorts of grains and seeds and nuts and chiles and veggies and even fruit, depend on spices. What you can see here is a more sophisticated stone grinder, like what you would find in a molino. So what people do is they bring their own corn that they harvest, or they purchase it at the molino, and they have it ground for them at the molino. And well, it's a lot easier than grinding with the metate, I'll tell you that. But we wanted to do it the traditional way, so what we did is we bought a kilo of corn at the molino. This is nixtamalized corn, so it's been pre-cooked and activated in a calcium hydroxide solution that's been warmed up, and then all the husk has been cleared off. So this kilo of corn is what we need, as well as our metate, a cushion to keep our knees safe, and clean drinking water to drizzle over our corn as we grind it. Now that we have everything ready, I'll show you how it's done. So this kneeling position really helps us. We drizzle a little water over the corn kernels, and we grab both sides or edges of the metlalpil or the mano, and what we're doing is a wrist rotation as well as a back and forth movement with using the weight of my own body to really grind that corn between the two stones. So we keep doing this back and forth. I passed this corn about 7 times in order to get a very smooth masa. And in every passing I drizzle a little water over it. Now I am sure that with more practice I will be able to do it quicker, but so far this is what it has taken me. So we drizzle a little more water. We can still see a few whiter spots, which is the flour of the corn that hasn't been completely ground or mixed into the masa. So we need to give it another round. And this would be the procedure for anything that you really want to grind. There are easier textures and there are harder ones. But this is how you would make traditional masa. Now, if you wanted to make tostadas, for instance, once you have your masa, you add a little salt. Or if you wanted to make tamales, you would add lard or vegetable shortening to this masa in order to make your tamales. So here I am. I'm still grinding with this back and forth and wrist rotation movement. It is hard work, as you can tell. And this is the final texture of masa. It's very, very soft and smooth. It doesn't stick to the hands. And now we're gonna cook it. Now we're gonna make our tortillas. So this is a brand new clay comal. What I'm doing here is I am seasoning it or curing it with a calcium hydroxide and water solution over the hot comal. And this is to clean it off and make it safe for cooking and eating. So that is the first thing that we're going to do today. Once this is only done once. After that, the comal can be washed with water and soap and just let dry. But you may also do this every time you make your tortillas. So after that excess lime is burnt off, we are ready to make our tortilla. I grab a small amount of masa and I wet my hands. I grab a small amount of masa and I place it in the middle of the tortilla press in between two plastic sheets, and I press twice, just like that. And then I gently peel away these plastics in order to have the tortilla in my hand. As you can tell, it is very thin, and that you can make them thinner or you can make them thicker. That's just how you would prefer them. But this one is very thin. I put it on the hot comal, and now I'm gonna give you some tips to make an awesome tortilla. So first of all, and what's most important, is that your masa is very, very smooth. And you get this by grinding either in a metate or in a corn mill, but you may also get this texture if you use a blender or a hand mill. It's just going to take a lot more effort. So yeah, your masa has to be really, really smooth. Another tip is to turn your tortilla promptly so that the edges don't get crackly and burnt or dry. Also make sure your comal is very, very hot. That's gonna help the tortilla cook quicker and not let it dry out. And thirdly, you can't really see here in this image, maybe you will in a couple of seconds, but the tortilla is actually puffing. It is puffing up, and that is a good sign. It's telling us that that the masa is smooth enough, it's well ground, and that it's cooking evenly on both sides, and that the heat is moving through it evenly. So this is gonna make a really good tortilla. Another recommendation is once you make your tortillas, make sure you keep them in a cloth napkin. That will keep them moist and warm and not let them dry up and get all crackly. So this tortilla is done. It's already puffing in the center and through the sides. It may have gotten a little extra heat on the sides because it's so thin, but it's a fine tortilla. So what I'm gonna do now is I'm gonna get my cloth napkin where I have my other tortillas, and I am going to keep them nice and warm there. So from a kilo of masa, I got 21 medium-sized tortillas, and we're ready to eat. Thanks so much for listening. This is Rooting Through Corn, Planting Families.